Hey Trump, I got a message for you. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitled them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for the light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shewn that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpation pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism. It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of the absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He refused his assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with the measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for that purpose obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount of payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, given his assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English law in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with powers to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrections amongst us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must therefore acqui- acquiescence acquiescence in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace friends. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right out to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connections between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Georgia: Button Gwinnett, Lyman Hall, George Walton. North Carolina: William Hopper, Joseph Hughes, and John Penn. South Carolina: Edward Rutledge, Thomas Hayward Jr., Thomas Lynch Jr., Arthur Middleton. Massachusetts: John Hancock. Maryland: Samuel Chase, William Paca, Thomas Stone, Charles Carroll of Carrollton. Virginia: George Wythe, Richard Henry Lee, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Harris, Thomas Nelson Jr., Francis Lightfoot Lee, Carter Braxton. Pennsylvania: Robert Morris, Benjamin Rush, Benjamin Franklin, John Morton, George Claimer, James Smith, George Taylor, James Wilson, George Ross. Delaware: Cassar Rodney, George Reed, Thomas McKean. New York: William Floyd, Philip Livingston, Francis Lewis, Lewis Morris. New Jersey: Richard Stockton, John Witherspoon, Francis Hopkinson, John Hart, Abraham Clark. New Hampshire: Josiah Bartlett, William Whipple. Massachusetts: Samuel Adams, John Adams, Robert Treat Paine, Elbridge Gerry. Rhode Island: Stephen Hopkins, William Ellery. Connecticut: Roger Sherman, Samuel Huntington, William Williams, Oliver Walcott. New Hampshire: Matthew Thornton. Now, for those who don't know, I just read the whole Declaration of Independence to you. And it's which is kind of ironic. And the situation here is kind of similar and ironic. Let me show you why.
Thank you so much, everyone. And Bonnie, someone just said you're fantastic at reading aloud. I second that.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other comments? Does anyone want to talk about how that made them feel, or what they thought of it?
I
Can I
would
say
like to have a discussion about it, knowing that we have a limited amount of time. If we go over, nobody needs to stay if they have to. But there are some things about this. This is a topic that I've thought about a long time ago, and I'm glad that Patrick and his group are kind of bringing it up so that we can connect the dots. Now that we've read it, I hope you can see the importance of using these original words and see how those grievances are very true of what is happening now. I mean, you can go line by line, and it is scary how many of the grievances that cause people to um, start the American Revolution are true now in what the government is doing. And to me, that is some of the most striking evidence of the goal of tyranny, and what this administration is trying to do is not normal, and goes crosses so many of the red lines that the founding fathers said were the reason that we needed to separate from England. So I think Aaron put his hand up next.
Yeah, sending people overseas on trumped up charges.
Yeah, I mean, sending people to CCOT as immigrants with no trials is exactly what, you know, they're talking about in the Declaration of Independence. I mean, they're that's what he did.
I
Maggie,
think I think it's about, with the ICE people that they just can do whatever they want with impunity. I talked about if we kill any of our citizens, they don't have to go to trial. They don't have to pay the consequences for it.
There was a section there with the grievances against King George, and it mirrors exactly what's going on today. I have never read the
exactly?
Declaration of Independence. I admit I'm a bad girl. I have never
there's
the
nothing wrong with that.
Constitution, and I've never read the text of Project 2025. However, this has given me goosebumps. I mean, my heart is really pounding just because the grievances, like I said, the grievances mentioned against King George, it's exactly what Trump is doing now. Exactly. It's just
Exactly.
amazing. Notwithstanding, I mean, the other languages about savages and stuff like that, but there are sections, like you said, Morgan, that should be read verbatim because history does indeed repeat itself. And this is so inspiring, and I would say, I mean, I think it should be read. I mean, for people that are listening to it that probably are on the side of not liking what's going on and what's normal and what's not anymore, they're going to be fired up. I'm
Agree.
impressed. I'm impressed with your reading. Love you guys.
Same here.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Um, there were two parts of that that particularly struck me, and I'm trying to find the first one, and maybe it's the same thing. But he is affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. And there was one where he was creating a military for his own that was separate from what we were doing.
Yeah,
And
right?
to me, that's what he's doing with ICE. They aren't beholden to the regular laws. He is making it as his own army, separate from our regular military that has civilian oversight so that he can control it and do it on his own. Jeffrey, what's your question?
I got 2 for Tiffany.
Okay.
So in the recording, it'll highlight each of us speaking as we did with the declaration. That's me speaking as we did the Declaration of Independence, like in a big.
Yep. Yeah. Well.
As for, will you give us a copy of us speaking the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah, it'll be up on our YouTube channel. So I'll make sure. Do you get our emails? Do you get our newsletter?
I think it's an
Okay.
action stop something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make sure you have the YouTube channel link.
And I was gonna offer myself to read the last part.
Oh, okay. Well, we got it done.
So you get it.
And part of this project is for you to go and read the whole thing yourself and share it on social media. So
when are you gonna show the videos?
I'm pulling up your videos right now, Jeffrey. I'm gonna let anyone else who wants to speak do that while I'm doing it.
I'm just going through some of these grievances and saying, wow, I mean, the first one, he refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. I mean, he is not feeling like he is subject to the laws of the country and they don't apply to him. And he can go and do whatever he wants. Exactly the way King George thought that he was above the law. He's forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance. I mean, how many times have we talked about the gridlock in Washington because they're not willing to compromise at all? And the laws that need to be passed, even the budget resolutions to keep the government open, aren't being passed, and he's not letting them go through. How many people are being disenfranchised and not being represented when you're in a gerrymandered district that's 70% Republican? How are they going to be representing you, the people? And even then, even if you happen to have a representative who's morally conscious enough to represent the people, they're dividing the districts up so that the ultimate legislature isn't going to be representative and they can have power. I'm
ready. Unless you got more.
No, I'm going. I'm talking. I'm going as I talk. So
okay.
If you've got something up, feel free to put it up.
Yeah, so Jeffrey, who you guys heard from reading the beginning section of the Declaration of Independence, he's a talented video editor. But because he lives in a group home, he has limited ways to make income. So we've hired him to create a Solidarity Warriors fireworks video. He's going to put his contact info in the chat if you want to connect with him and hire him to make a video for you. But I am going to share a couple of his videos now. Give me just a moment.
If you can see my 2 out of the 3.
Yep, you got it.
If you can see my contact in the chat box in there.
All right, here's the first one.
Trump on America 250.
All right, and then go ahead.
Did any of you catch what it said? Anybody?
Yep. I think we did.
It was awesome, Jeffrey.
Well, did you catch what it said? What the text said?
Absolutely.
Tell us.
I don't think we need to. We also, But
Yep.
I do want to see the next one.
All right.
Yeah, the second one is a song.
It's for
In
June
the heart
14th.
of the nation, we rise together. Voices united, we're light as a feather. Breaking the chains, reclaiming our name. We'll stand for our freedom, ignite the flame. Step up, stand tall, hear the call. We're in this together, one and all. Rise up, it's time to reclaim. America's spirit will fan the flame. With strength and with unity we'll break the norm. Together we'll weather, together we'll storm. No more divisions, it's time to erase. A new dawn is coming, let's quicken the pace. Building our future with courage and might. We'll march to the rhythm for what's just and right. Hope is the anthem, it's ringing loud. Together we're stronger, let's make us proud.
Rise up, it's time to reclaim. America's spirit will fan the flame. With strength and with unity we'll break the norm. Together we'll weather, together we'll storm.
Freedom's our birthright, we'll never forget. Together we'll stand, there's no room for regret.
What'd you guys think?
Really good, Jeffrey. Thank you.
Yeah, I
just
loved it.
I just put my contact in.
All right.
And the link that contains all my social media, including my YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that in that one link.
I think people will check it out and go from there. So thank you very much for that, Jeffrey.
Lots of comments for you in the chat, Jeffrey. People said they loved it.
But I've picked up a couple of more grievances that I just want to highlight. You know, he has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for that purpose, obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hitherto, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of land. I mean, his immigration stance is very clear, and it falls under that grievance explicitly. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing to assent to laws for establishing judiciary power. How many criminals has he pardoned and let go? So that his people don't have to follow the laws either. And now he wants to start a slush fund to pay them for committing crimes that he's pardoned them for. He's made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. There's no question that he stole 3 seats on the Supreme Court, and that has had massive consequences. He has kept, this is the other one about his standing army. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. How many times and how many places has he sent ICE into cities and states who didn't ask for them and didn't want them to come in and start, harassing their people? It just goes on and on. I mean, I could talk about each one of these, about what's happening now. And I think really the important message about all of this is the very same grievances that led us to throw off the English government and revolt against them and become an independent country are happening now. And that if it was true then that we don't want to live under tyrants, it should be true now. And people should see that and understand that this is what we need to do. And that we need to take those lessons and apply them now. And not just think that this is a unique moment in history, or that this is normal legislation and how government works. It's not. and there's reasons that we're resisting what's happening, and it's not grounded out of some crazy left-wing conspiracy. It's coming from the very documents that founded this country. And that's why we're resisting, and what we're resisting, and how we're resisting. And it's important to just keep that perspective in what you're doing, because this isn't, something simple and something easy and something that you just do on the spur of the moment, on a whim. The document talks about how deliberate you need to be to wind up in a place that you're separating yourself from another country and declaring independence. And it's something that I think people need to think about and look at it in a different way from, just what normal day-to-day life is. And, if there are more grievances that we can talk about, but if anybody else has any thoughts, I would love to hear them. But the whole purpose in reading these is to bring attention to all of the many ways that he is being a tyrant and committing the grievances that the founding fathers started a revolution of.
All right. Any other comments before we wrap up for the evening?
Just wanted to say one thing.
Yeah.
You remember to charge the money for making that fight, for making the
We'll take care of
specials.
it, Jeffrey.
Yep. I'll send it to you.
I know that's not the
Sorry to
thing I
say
wanted to
that.
say, but something I had to get something out of my mouth.
No worries. All right. Well, I'm going to
Sorry
play
to
us
say
out
that.
with your song one more time, Jeffrey. And I hope everyone has a great night.
Good night, everyone.
And thank you, Patrick, for being here.
You can put it on full screen if you want.
In the heart of the nation, we rise together. Voices united, we're light as a feather.
Just desperate for cash.
Breaking the chains,
Sorry I had to say
reclaiming our name. We'll stand for our freedom, ignite the flame. Step up, stand tall, hear the call. We're in this together, one and all. Rise up, it's time to reclaim America's spirit, will fan the flame. With strength and with unity, we'll break the norm. Together we'll weather, together we'll storm. No more divisions, it's time to erase. A new dawn is coming, let's quicken the pace. Building our future with courage and might. We'll march to the rhythm for what's just and right. Hope is the anthem, it's ringing loud. Together we're stronger, let's make us proud.
Rise up, it's time to reclaim America's spirit, will fan the flame. With strength and with unity, we'll break the norm. Together we'll weather, together we'll storm.
Freedom's our birthright, we'll never forget. Together we'll stand, there's no room for regret.
Tiffany, I remember what I was going to tell you. Tiffany?
Yep. Sorry, I was muted. I'll put us in a breakout room. If Morgan and Aaron want to join us, they're welcome to, but otherwise you and I can just chat.
All right.
Give me 1 second.
I think what I have to say is probably in coherence with the, with the Declaration of Independence thing.
Hey everybody, what was it, Jeffrey?
Something simple. I know. I noticed that on YouTube that many Zoom recordings don't get that many views. So maybe I was thinking to help you out. Maybe you could add some music in there, and an attention grabbing thumbnail to get more views.
Yeah, we try to do that. Do you have ideas about what would be more attention grabbing?
Well, something that screams like this is interesting. I'd like to see this. Like maybe the Declaration of Independence or something like that. Me for this video.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll
Well,
let Sean know, the
yeah,
one who does our thumbnails.
like maybe all of us reading the maybe artwork of us reading the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, I'll see what Sean can do.
So, and what it,
Okay.
and what
Jeffrey, you could share that on your social media stuff too.
yeah what it, and what
YouTube
about
channel.
and maybe some music might actually help out. Some soft songs so we can you know.
Well, you
Okay.
guys did a good job tonight. That was really neat.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought it went great, and you did a great job reading, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. And those videos were not easy to make. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
an
thought I
accomplishment.
thought the fireworks were AI, but I was wrong. Jeffrey made that all himself in Adobe
After Effects.
After Effects. Yeah, that's a hard program to learn. I've tried and failed.
Believe me,
All right.
I couldn't make something like that. So do you think you'll take my ideas into consideration to make that video better? Like
Yeah, I'll see what Sean can do with it.
including adding music?
Yeah, I'll see what we can figure out.
Because I think I could something at the beginning, maybe something attention grabbing, like an explosion or something, like
Okay.
something to keep something that'll say, hey, this is interesting. I'm like, hey, that caught my attention. I think I want to see this.
All right,
Yeah, that's a
Jeffrey.
really good idea.
I appreciate you guys, but I gotta get going. You want to call me later?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I gotta go,
All
guys.
right.
Thank you so much for tonight.
Have a
All
good
right.
night, Aaron.
I learned this strategy from this website. So here.
You put it. Oh, you put it in the chat.
I
All
think
right, cool.
I think
I'll share that with Sean.
And also, there are YouTube videos out there that can actually help you improve your YouTube video, like Think Media,
Uh-huh.
like that group.
Okay. Well, that's my dog you might hear in the background. It's time for her to go out. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
say
gonna need to
goodbye.
get going too.
All right, so
All right.
that was the
Well,
last thing I wanted to tell you how to improve this videos. So
all right. Well,
many
I
people
appreciate it, Jeffrey.
Thank you for the input, Jeffrey. We'll talk
You're
to you
welcome.
later.
All
Bye.
right.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Well, I hope you take everything what they said with a grain of salt. Think hard and clearly, because the similarities between the king of England and and Donald Trump is similar. They're right. It is similar. So I hope you'll take that with a grain of salt, and think about it. Think about it very hard. Because definitely we need to get Trump. We don't want any kings. We freed ourselves from kings. We want a democracy. And what Trump's doing is destroying our democracy. I hope you liked the video I made, and I hope you'll share it with others. Because we need to spread the message loud and clear. We won't tolerate what Trump's doing anymore. All right. Till next time. Jeb Bartel, signing off.